Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus Revod. This is the war number 8 on the season, and we are hoping to keep the win streak going. They banned CGR, Kitty, and Gallon. So let's take a look at their mini island first. So we're going to go over just brief some options for this mini island, starting with Quicksilver. They actually didn't place a 49. The thought process there was to have us not use Kingpin and basically ramp him up for Quicksilver. But either way, there was lots of options on the table, Fury being one of them. Professor X could also do it. However, with the new boss nodes, the whiplash damage is greatly increased for that. So I wanted to Mantis the boss, but it just fell short of our actual boss counter that we had lined up. You have Arcus next on the power gain node, and Scorpion, Chavez, and Diablo all work there. Be aware Scorpion's taunt may fall off with the tenacity if he shrugs it from time to time, so you have to keep that in mind. APOC, again, Chavez by hands down the best counter there, although we didn't send either of that to APOC or our Arcus. And for Hulkling, Scorpion with the attacker tactic, Chavez with the attacker tactic. She hits hard with his buffs, and then Fate seals everything, so that's always great. Gore at the bottom, Scorpion works. Any attacker tactic will actually work. Gallon as well. Or Tiger. If you have a Tiger player, then just send that. That's an easy nuke. Omega Sentinel, Herc is whitelisted, so you could send that. You could also send a Tigra, Medusa, Nebula, lots of options there. And for Spidey, you could send Torch. Just make sure you keep your temperature up and you won't miss. He'll melt, or send a buff immune and it turns him into a potato. So we had our plan set and to clear the whole island, but as the war shapes up, some people are busy and ask not to be on shared fights and whatnot. We ended up adjusting the plan, and we took the boss linked. So it made a few fights easier. Wasn't really needed to be taken linked, but just the way it was shaping out, and when we looked at the map later, it just seemed like a viable option, since what we were going to do had no... it didn't matter if brute force was up or not. So anyways, let's get into my fights. Okay, so I am on path 5 in section 1, path 5 in section 2, and I'm on this thing, node 2, where it's ebb and flow knockdown. And basically, I was going to take it with Professor X. I was all boosted up. Was only going to take one fight with Valk, and I've taken this fight plenty of times with Professor X. I like to duel and prep and know my fight strategy for my war fights before I go in. And the last minute, I'm looking at Valkyrie, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to Valk this. And you'll see that that's a mistake, because I've never taken her on this node before. I did pop an invul, an ability boost, just to be safe. I have a plenty, so I just don't know. I can't really knock him down and lose all my Pierce. I don't want to do that. I've taken her into section 2 where you intercept and it's fine, and right off the bat I lose my invulve, and I'm like, oh great. So anyways, the plan is just to build to 10 Pierce, and just now he can't go and stop him. Well, I'm like, okay, just keep going. I don't know where my damage is going initially. I did get that heavy at the start just to get some damage in, but really I'm not too sure how much damage I'm going to be doing. But she does pretty good damage to the block, and that's one special 2 right there. And I'm doing basic combos to basically build power faster. And again, I'm just winging this. I hate doing this. I am not a fan of winging war fights at all. But I don't know why. I was all set to use X, and X is easy. You just build up to a special 3, throw it, with protection down, and then you don't throw another special until his protection's down again, and you kill him. But I'm using Valk, and you see, okay, it's like about over a minute, and he's halfway down. I throw my other SB2, and it does great damage. And right here, he comes at me when I go to hit his block, and he hits me, and I'm like, here I should have just kept hitting his block and limited his power at this point. And I eat a special 2 to the face. I was like, oh my god. So I'll call that power building so I can get to my special 2 and end this. But here, yeah, I want to hit into the block at this point. I'm not taking any more chances. And just shameful fight. That's all that is. So next we have Nick Fury. And I'm running Max Coagulate and Suture, 1 point in Suture, just in case I happen to get clipped. I don't want to get a long bleed. If I do, I want to be able to survive. The plan here is basically to parry heavy and remove his flourish buffs when I can, and push him to an SB2 ideally so he doesn't throw the SB1, but he does. It doesn't really matter if he throws it because I'm just going to take my time and hit into his block. The only thing I don't want to do is get cornered. And you see right here, I'm trying to get an opening with a block, and I'm getting cornered, so I just go to hit him. And I need him to throw the special 2 now, and I'm getting cornered, and I'm like, oh great. So luckily he throws it here, and I have to push him again to a special 2, but he throws this one really quickly after, and I'm like, all right, just parry heavy to get out of here. I'm gonna throw my SB2 to dump my power and do some damage, and I have power backs on, so I get back to a bar and a half. And the reason I did that is just to speed the fight up. Here I'm just trying to control spacing and beta special, so I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm gonna max ramp my charges there, get the protection down, and at this point I just want to push him to SB2s. And there I was a little late with the heavy, so I just want to, just kind of keep chipping away, and I don't want to be in my corner at all. So what I want to do now is I want to get this flourish buff off of him, and he's not really playing ball, but here he does. He holds block, he throws his SB2. I'm like, perfect. Now it's about 2 minutes have gone in the fight. At this point, what I want to do is get him down to about 1% and have my Fury expire, and then I want to kill him. So here I'm like, okay, hit his block, parry, and he's at 2%. So I'm like, okay, I need to knock him down here. I was hoping that would actually kill him, but I'm gonna push him to 2 bars, and that's perfectly fine. He's gonna degen a little bit, and I'm just gonna go into my my heavy SB3. I just want to make sure that the degen's off of him, because if he's still regenerating, or the degen's coming off, if he's still regenerating, then he's gonna regenerate some of my SB3, and that's not what I want to happen. But I have my protection down, I have the power back boost, and I'm just going to be spamming my special 3. The fact that he's at 2 bars and mind control actually gives me more damage per my signature ability, which is max sig for Professor X. So ultimately safe Fury fight right here, and he goes down rather smoothly. Now next up I have a Spider Ham on node 19, and that's going to be ebb and flow knockdown with prowess buildup and debuff immune on knockdown. So with spam, basically you don't want him to get nonsense, because then he evades and goes unblockable. But with Professor X, basically there is no chance of that, because once you get your vigilance up, he can't evade you. So on this note, I'm just going to be parrying heavy. Someone placed the white Magneto pre-fight for me, and I didn't even heal up because I'm going to heal through willpower, and I know this from facing spam a lot. And there I'm over 25 charges, so I don't even really care about his prowess, to be honest with you, because it's really minimal, meaning that I'm not going to take any specials in the block. I'm going to bait his SB1s and counter heavy just like that. And the reason I want to counter heavy ideally than parry is because then I don't get any pork poppers on me. So you see that I have 1 now, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do basic hits to get to my special, and I'm going to throw it with a taunt up, and that's all she wrote basically. So you see I'm at 100%. Now that Valkyrie fight is going to hurt because I took so much damage. I'm gonna have to heal her up, and I used 6-hour boost for this war. I typically just run the shorter time frame boost for that purpose. If I'm not going to be fighting regularly, if I need to heal, it costs less with potions. But that's that definitely hurt. You see, she's less than half, and it's just going to take a lot to heal her. But here we have a torch. I was supposed to take abs on 22, but Steve stole it from me. So that's always fun when you get a fight stolen. But I decided to R4 torch. I know he's banned a lot, but this Ma's painful. And the plan here actually was just to go ham. I'm going to use the Nova Flames, and it's power focus 2, so I have an indestructible boost. I actually wanted to special 3 boost, and I didn't apply it. I figured I wouldn't need it. But in the fight, I was like, man, I really should have used it just in case. But the plan here basically is to just medium, light, medium, and push him to a special 3 and take the degen damage. So it's going pretty well. He's melting, you can see, and I take that heavy to the face, which is one of my indestructible boosts. But more importantly, I'm degenning from it, so that's not what I wanted to do. I use my special 2 to basically stun him and buy more time. He doesn't throw his special 3, but he's dead off of the Nova Flames. If I would have ate the special 3, I would have survived with my indie boost, and he would have just died afterwards. So it wouldn't have been that big a deal, but I would have lost health. And I do have one more torch fight. We were debating to R4 him or torch him or Scorp, and I just went in with torch. So next up, I have this kitty fight on path 5, and I'm gonna use Professor X. I actually went and removed my precision and cruelty masteries off of it. I've taken her with those on plenty of times, but I just wanted to limit the chances of critting, because I don't need to crit to basically kill her. I need to get to my special 3. So at this point, I took them off. I'm like, why not, just to be safe? And I'm just gonna build up to my special 3 and get an intercept and then launch it. So there she dexes my my counter heavy real quick, so that's always nice. And I'm just beating I'm just creating space at this point so my falter can come online, and then I can get my vigilance up so I can't miss. So at this point, I'm baiting the SB1. She throws it into my block, perfect. And you see that I'm critting. I'm not doing any damage, the protection's up. But she has 3 prowess right there. She has 4. I want her to throw this to clear them, and she does, perfect. And I'm just trying to control her prowess and build up my my mind control charges. And I had a falter there, so I just I used it fully to ramp up to about 94. And she throws this, and you can see that I actually take a little bit of a chance because I'm not at 100 charges. I go for the intercept here, and I do get it, but I heavy charge to build to 100, and she could have hit me with the SB1. So watching that back, that's just, I got to be more patient with that, because I not only got the intercept without using my falter, which means I could have easily baited the SB1 and then used my falter to get the protection back down and then killed her. But I could have ate that SB1 to the face, and that would have been bad. So there, an SB3 to an SB2, and it kills her. So that's safe. This next fight, I'm taking Jugs, and the global is down because we did take the boss link, like I said. Shout out to Amanda for doing so. I'm using Valkyrie for this, to stop the magic of editing right there. I wish preset or masteries could apply that quick. But you just have to worry about the unstoppable with him. But honestly, I've taken him before with a global up, and it was much more difficult. His power was just a little bit, it wasn't hard, it's just that his power was noticeable with the flourish charges, and he kept letting me intercept him, so he was gaining more power. But in this fight, it's really smooth. I'm not even worried about hitting the block. It's Juggernaut. You can bait and dex his specials or block them. They don't really do too much. So here he shells up, I get a quick intercept, and it really doesn't do anything. You see that it was unstoppable, goes away as soon as it comes up, I throw the special 2 with the Fury up, and it does pretty good damage. And at this point, I'm being really safe. I do not want another thing, you know, encounter, but here I'm just I'm building power, so any openings he gives me I'm going to take. There's no sense to just hit his block, because what I want to do is get into my special 2 anyways. So here I'm going to I was trying to go for intercept, but he didn't bite. So at this point I'm like, you know what, just dash away and throw the SB2. I'm gonna switch my combo just to get a bulwark if I happen to get below 50, and I do, and this fight's over. So that was easy peasy. And then next up, I have an America Chavez. We have a White Magneto pre-fight. This is Ebb and Flow intercept with Mighty Charge and the armor break if you don't hit them with a certain amount of time. And so this is just a torch fight. The plan here is basically to get my intercept as soon as possible so I can start dealing damage and building those Nova Flames while letting them melt. I have an indestructible boost, so unless she has some crazy AI, I want to push her to an SB2. Even if she starts throwing heavies like crazy, the plan is basically to push her to an SB2 and tank it. If not an SB2, then preferably an SB3, but there's going to be some severe sting damage if she does that. She's really friendly with her SB2s, so if she doesn't have any zones up, then it's perfect. And you see here that I do a backdraft, she bites, I get the Fury, and she's just, you know, at this point she's just wilting away with all the Nova Flames. And yeah, she's at 12, and that's a 54k sting, and it kills her. So that was easy peasy. And we did take the boss linked with Corvus. Shout out to Amanda. She took that APOC, Arcus, and the boss all with Corvus. So super quick fight. And you know, Andrew just didn't come through with any good puns. So you know, I had to kind of, you know, step up for him. What's funny is that, you know, Andrew, he had a Herc this war, and just like last time he slaughtered it with Herc. But you know, he's Herc happy. He's whitelisted. He wants to use his R5, and at a certain point in the war when we were going to take the boss linked, he suggested that we don't have to because he can just Herc certain fights. And so I kind of baited him. Always eager to Herc, you know, even though he had to take his fights with the global down if we waited. I told him that we may have to move because Mad Cat needs to get cleared to place White Magneto pre-fights for Amanda on Mini Island. And so he was like all for it, and he's like, should we go now? Should we go now? But as things went on, I got his hopes up on purpose. Mad Cat is not on path 4. He was on path 1 and was able to clear with Amanda just fine and place that. So sorry, Andrew, no Herc smash for you. Now, he didn't get to smash some extra Herc fights. He did get an MVP along with Sam and Karate Mike, so shout out to them. We did end up winning this war. GG's to Revod. And shout out to my battle group who did awesome. We got a donut this war, our 3rd, I believe, of the season. So let's keep it going and see you guys in the next one.